because I'm going to be doing draft shows and all this other stuff, but I thought about the Timberwolves, and I'm like, what could possibly be going on with the Timberwolves? You have a team that you know what Ja Morant's going to do. You have a team that you know what's coming next. You have a team that there's only two real shooters, and that's Dylan Brooks and Bane. And somehow you lose 111 to 109. You are actually up by 10 with about, 5 minutes and 43 seconds to go? And you just have a meltdown. You tie the game at the end with a big three from Anthony Edwards. Great play design by Chris Finch. Great pass as well. The bounce pass to the corner, that was crazy good. And then Anthony Edwards, it's like the stock exchange, up and down. You trail Ja Morant versus just letting him stay in front of him. Make him catch it at the top of the key. Make him dribble and have to shoot or just put his head down. But the fact that he was able to go with a full head of steam, it's one of the most athletic, if not the most athletic player right now in the NBA when it comes to just jumping out of his body. I mean, he has a 44-inch vertical. 44-inch vertical at 6'3". That's ridiculous. I saw a stat that said his jumping is the equivalent, as far as space, height, is this equivalent of Clint Capella, who has a 30-something inch vertical. And I think he's given up 7 inches to a Clint Capella who's about 6'10". That's crazy to think about that. And so, Sam, my question to you, Sam, is 82% of the teams that win Game 5. 82% of the teams that win Game 5 go on to win the series. Not in Game 6, so it could go to 7, but they go on to win the series. Now, 18% of the teams did win, so there is a chance. But do you think the Timberwolves? I personally, I still think there's a chance. My emotions want to tell me it's over, but they're coming home and they have a chance in Game 6 with the home crowd. And I'm hoping they watch film and learn from their mistakes. But do you think they have a chance?
I think it's over. I think 82% is about right. I think the Grizzlies have about an 82% chance to wrap this thing up. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be in 6. I think the Wolves have a chance to bounce back and win this game to force Game 7. But I don't love the Wolves' chances on the road in that 7th game. When you have 2 opportunities in a series, up by 26, you lose. Up by 13, you lose. You don't come back from that. Not against a 2 seed. Maybe if it were reversed, if the Grizzlies were the 7, maybe it'd be different. But this is a really good Grizzlies team. And Ron, they got lucky yesterday that they could overcome 3 awful quarters. The Grizzlies couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. Morant was bad. They were in some foul trouble. And they still won that game with a big 4th. Morant absolutely won it for them, put the team on his back. The Grizzlies are eventually going to play a more complete game. I mean, they've had some pretty incomplete performances in this series and still won. Now, what if they start playing well, actually? That would be my concern. I've got a hard time believing the Wolves can put it together for 2 more games. I mean, I think maybe Game 6, it's a possibility, but on the road in Game 7, I'm losing hope, Ron.
Yeah, and if I were to tell you the Timberwolves won the field goal percentage battle, 44-41, they won the three-point percentage battle by a large margin. They doubled the amount of made three-pointers. 14 they made, 7 was only made by the Grizzlies. Grizzlies 25%. The Wolves were 42% from 3. That's crazy. Then you look at the free throws. 21 of 24, 87% for the Timberwolves, 26 of 39. We saw Ja Morant early struggle with free throws. We saw other players struggle. At one point, I think it was they had 12 more free throws taken than the Timberwolves and only had made 3 more, and it finished the same way. They had 15. They ended up with 15 more free throws given to them. 15 more free throws given to them, and they only made 5 more. They only came out 5 points ahead. If you were to tell me I'm going to give you 15 more free throws than somebody else, I would expect you to have more than a 5-point lead on that number. And so the fact that the Timberwolves won in every single category listed, every single one, blocks, they were tied. Here's the ones that killed the Timberwolves. Turnovers, 22. To start the game, we know they had I think I tweeted it was 4 possessions or 5 possessions and 3 turnovers. Just bad passes. Like that's why every single drive, every single play, every single handoff, every single shot in the playoffs counts. Like I constantly tweet these videos of like dumb plays, and that's what Charles Barkley's talking about. 42 rebounds, mainly offensive rebounds. The Grizzlies 18, the Timberwolves 6. It's too much standing around watching the ball get shot for the Timberwolves. Like it's almost as if they assume one, they're going to make it, or they're just poorly coached. And I'm not saying Chris Finch is a bad coach. He's gotten them there. But his in-game playoff mentality, I don't know how you tell them. Like, I don't know if you have a coach. And I'm pretty sure they do have a coach with the stat book. That at some point in the half, he said, hey, we're losing the offensive rebound battle 10-2. At some point, you have to, like, yell at the guys. Throw a chair. I mean, Bobby Knight that thing. Like, do something. Get the guys going. Like, you have to go and crash the offensive boards, and that's where the Grizzlies, it was like shot after shot the Grizzlies missed, and every time it felt like they were either knocking it back out to a guy or just out hustling. It was one time where I think McLaughlin and I don't know who was standing next to him, both could have got the offensive rebound, both just let it bounce, and I think Tyus Jones grabbed it. Like, it didn't even, like, it wasn't even a high, it was just a bouncing ball that two guys running towards the ball assumed the other one was going to take it, and Tyus Jones got it. Or somebody. Like stuff like that cannot happen. And that's what really I feel like the meltdown was, the hustle, the smart plays. On a fast break one time, and yes, there were two guys in the basket. Beasley takes like a pump fake shot. Guy goes flying by. He sidesteps to the left and jacks up a 3, airballs it. All he had to do was take 3 or 4 dribbles towards the basket, shoot a nice easy jumper or a basket off the glass for a 2. Now the game's tied. And I mean, hindsight being 2020, he gets those 2 points. It's 111, or maybe you're up at the end and John Moran is a little bit more. And I talk about that tight sphincter. Maybe he's a little bit tighter. And that's that for me, Sam. That's what really gets me is the ill-advised shots, the lack of hustle. When they started the game, they just didn't seem energized at all, as if this wasn't a must-win game. You know, it was almost like, yeah, we won game 4. I told y'all we was going to win. We're going to win game 5. Like, for me, it can't happen.